Hello, this is Matthew, and I welcome you to the 28th episode of Unrewarded Intelligence, the channel that offers you free information about expensive matters. Today, July 2nd, 2022, we have Bitcoin at $19,466, $1 is 5,137 sats, and Ethereum at $1,074.67. The Asia market was dominated in BTC, ETH, USDT, and a healthy amount of selling in DOT. Some opportunistic buyers were purchasing BTC under 20k, but most bulls were in waiting mode. Sidelined accounts are looking for more dry powder, having already bought previous dips. The US maret saw mainly selling to close out the quarter. Some dedicated HODL accounts continued dollar cost average. The EU market saw mostly sell-side flow in BTC and ETH. A few accounts were buying SOL, ETH, and BTC towards the end of the July 4th long weekend. Following last week's overall drop in performance, network activity rose except for daily active supply, which fell by -32%. Specifically, active addresses increased by +1%, transaction count by +1.4%, and monthly active supply by +2%. BTC's market cap increased by +1% week over week to $393 billion after 2 weeks of falling crypto prices. However, average transaction fees, a measurement of network demand, fell by more than -14% this week. After BTC's hash rate fell for 2 weeks straight, the metric rose by +4.4% week over week to 215 exahash per second. Furthermore, Bitcoin's mining difficulty is expected to increase by over +1% on July 6th. However, miner market capitalization only grew by +0.7% to $90 billion, pacing behind the +1% gain in market capitalization. Because prices rose more than miner market capitalization, miners may have decreased their holdings. Now let's start with news of the world. Private and publicly listed crypto miners reportedly owe up to $4 billion in debt to finance the construction of large facilities across North America. As the value of the miners' output dramatically fell along with the BTC price, miners made tough decisions about how to survive, including selling coins and equipment. Publicly listed Bitcoin miners have allegedly borrowed at least $2.16 billion to as much as $4 billion. Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele announced that El Salvador purchased 80 Bitcoins for $1.52 million, or at an average price of $19,000 each. Bitcoin is the future. Thank you for selling cheap, Bukele said. The country last purchased BTC in May when it acquired 500 Bitcoins at $30,744 each, or a total of $15.3 million. El Salvador is reportedly down over -55% on its BTC bet. From September to date, the country has acquired 2,301 Bitcoins for $103.9 million, but its portfolio is currently worth roughly $46.6 million. Notably, Salvadoran Finance Minister, Alejandro Zelaya, said in May that the country's BTC balance represented less than 0.5% of its annual budget, and that the BTC losses posed an extremely minimal risk to the country's fiscal position. MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor announced that the firm purchased an additional 480 Bitcoins for $10 million, at an average cost of $20,817. The NASDAQ-listed software analytics company now holds 129,699 Bitcoins with a $30,664 average price, noting a $3.8 billion cost basis. However, the current BTC holdings in treasury for MicroStrategy are valued at $2.5 billion. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has denied the Bitcoin mining operation Greenidge Generation's application to renew an air permit required to continue operating in New York. The regulators cited inconsistencies in Greenidge's application with the climate goals laid out by the state's Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, which aims to reduce New York's greenhouse gas emissions by at least 85% by 2050. In its rejection letter to Greenidge, the NYSDEC cited the dramatic increase in greenhouse gas emissions from the Dresden-based facilities since the Climate Act took effect. Trust Machines, a developer building applications to grow the Bitcoin economy, hired Monismo Apatra and Asif Hirji, formerly of BNY Mellon and Coinbase, respectively in legal and advisory roles. Trust Machines also hired Igor Sylvester, formerly of Facebook and Reddit, to its engineering team. The firm, co-founded by Stack's founder, Munib Ali, and Princeton University computer science professor, J.P. Singh, aims to build on the work of Bitcoin programming layer stacks in making the network compatible with smart contracts. Australian baseball team Perth Heat announced plans to fully adopt BTC, including ticket sales, paying players in BTC, and making a BTC-related jersey. Swiss luxury watchmaker Breitling now accepts BTC, following the footsteps of name brands including Tag Heuer and Hublot. Investment platform BNK to the Future, which holds a 5% stake in Celsius, has proposed 3 recovery plans. The first proposal would allow for restructuring and relaunching Celsius through additional fundraising and issuing more tokens. The second proposal is to form a pool of influential Bitcoin holders to have them co-invest with the community to raise additional capital. The third proposal would be to form an operational plan that allows a new entity and team to rebuild and make depositors whole. Simon Dixon, CEO of BNK to the Future, believes time is running out to make a decision. Dixon commented, "You have to move really fast, because the longer you go on, the more FUD comes out, bad PR comes out, more predatory offers come out, the more the community stops believing in what they originally believed in." In the exchange stock market, the ETFs in the cohort saw AUM fall week over week. BITO's AUM decreased the most at -12.6%, followed by BT -11.6%, DTF -10.8%, XBTF -10.2%, and BITO -7.5%. The ETFs saw trading volume rise week over week. BIT's volume jumped the most at +341%, followed by BT +213.6%, BTF +160.8%, BITO +1.7%, and XBTF +1.4%. While BITS traded at a discount to NAV of -0.1% last week, it flipped this week to a premium to NAV of 0.2%. XBTF was the only other ETF within the cohort trading at a premium with its NAV, while the rest traded on par with NAV. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, rejected Grayscale's application to convert GBTC, its flagship structured product, into an ETF because the regulator alleged that the company hadn't shown sufficient planning to prevent fraud and manipulation. The asset manager filed a lawsuit against the SEC after the decision, though it noted that it was prepared for all possible post-ruling scenarios. Investment giant Van Eck has filed a new application for a spot BTC ETF with the SEC. The application comes 8 months after the SEC rejected its previous application and just a day after it denied the spot BTC ETF applications of Grayscale Investments and Bitwise. Jacobi Asset Management is launching the first spot BTC ETF in Europe through Euronext Amsterdam, the largest exchange to host a spot BTC ETF. Meanwhile, in the decentralized finance universe and NFTs, WeChat, a Chinese-owned social networking platform with over 1.2 billion monthly active users, will restrict or ban accounts that trade either digital assets or NFTs. Chinese regulators are preventing speculation and believe NFTs can be used to obtain illegal funds. This is all for today. The text version is in the description. Thank you for supporting our channel. Use this information wisely, stay sharp and illuminated. If you enjoyed this session, please support our channel by clicking like and subscribe, and we will keep you updated with the news.